Chapter 18. Indians Defy British Officers. Lorimier, the interpreter, left Fort Oswegatchie on July 8, 1779, with 268 male Indians and a number of Indian women. More Indians, filling 3 canoes, followed. Leaving their fishing, others joined the party on the way to Carleton Island. Fraser wrote to Haldeman, "I should think this was too great a number for the management of 2 men, without a single person along with them that can point out a friend from a foe, nor anyone that can speak a word of English to question any prisoners they may take, regarding the information necessary for the safety and conduct of the scout while in the settlement." Robertson reported to Haldeman that in July a corvée work party from the fort went to Carleton Island with Lieutenant Duvernet of the Royal Artillery. The men transported cannon from the fort to the island. Robertson said, "It would be wantonness in me to keep the men here, as I have not the least occasion for them, and besides, it is a high crime as an officer to obstruct so essential a service as the transporting of provisions, etc., at this juncture." A scout of Mississaugas, conducted by Lieutenant McDonnell of Sir John Johnson's corps, has returned, after having examined Wood Creek and all around Fort Stanwix, and also Canada Creek, without discovering anything extraordinary. They were seen from the fort, which obliged them to come off without prisoners. Another scout of Mississaugas took a man and 2 women near Fort Herkimer, whom they killed on being pursued by the enemy. They say they were further exasperated to this barbarous action by the man's having fired and wounded 2 of the Indians just as they were seizing him. One of the Indians is very dangerously wounded, and the ball is not yet extracted. Fraser, on July 29th, informed Haldeman that Lorimier and his Indian scouts had returned from Fort Stanwix with 29 prisoners, 28 of whom acknowledged the best treatment. The one not testifying was an old man that was put to death since he could not walk as fast as the Indians. Fraser said this party was surprised in mowing of grass by a detachment from the scout and taken without opposition. 2 sentinels only fired upon the Indians, and they got scalped. 1 Indian only of ours was slightly wounded in the arm, a lucky circumstance probably for the prisoners. A party of Oneidas came out of the fort and held a conference with a deputation of our scout. The Canada Indians ought for the future be watched rather as a domestic enemy than relied on as an ally, for while they are suffered to confer with those Indians, they will not only maintain a correspondence with the enemy, but they will instruct them also where to make their incursions into this province with the greatest safety. Nor is it unlikely that they will in a little time take scalps from their own people as they did in the last war. I think it is full time to be convinced that squandering presents upon Indians will not better them. Fraser, again writing to Haldeman on August 4th, 1779, said, "One of the chiefs that was from Caughnawaga with Mr. Lorimier for the late scout was at Fort Stanwix 4 times in the course of the last winter, with letters from bad subjects in Canada. If 1 or 2 of those people were punished with death or even imprisonment, it would put a stop to the practice of those fellows who are no better than so many licensed spies." Fraser was bitter about Teheresi, an Indian chief who he said has so often, with the fairest mask of plausibility, pretended to return to his duty, but it proved always with a design to betray.